Hello there. Once again, Santon from Antonio Bay. Thank you guys for stopping by the collection room. Once again, today we're looking at some Alpha Flight comics. My table just wobbled a little bit there. I'll stop that. What we've got is Alpha Flight 37, 38, 39, and 40, which I think is 1/3 the way through the entire series. And we'll just see what we got. We are past the John Byrne era of things, which has its ups and downs. It means that your art's going to vary quite a bit and maybe not be as pleasing sometimes. And also, your stories, though much faster paced, are also going to feature some dumb stuff. So we'll see what we got. We got Bill Mantillo as the writer, David Ross is the penciler, Jim Shooter, editor-in-chief. Okay. All right. I think I remember this story. It's been a long time since I read these. Maybe you've just the first one you've seen. Yeah, this guy. I remember this one. This one's terrible. And this is a reoccurring type of theme in a lot of these, is why their villains are so deranged. This guy, back in 1848, he's dying. His squad is dying. Instead of freezing to death with them, he takes this potion so that he would be able to survive and thaw in spring. But his crew cares too much about him, so they bury him, and so he never thaws. So he stays that way forever, buried. Oh God, they meant to bury me deep, so that no spring thaw would ever warm my blood, so deep that no summer sun would ever counteract the effects of my elixir. And like he just stays there forever, like consciously buried. This type of imprisonment, physical stuff, this is like reoccurring with their villains. Centuries of torture that warps the mind. This is how the Master was made. I want to say there was another one who was like trapped in like this form, and that's what made them crazy and evil. And it's disturbing. It's interesting. It very much smacks of like old sci-fi and stuff like that. I don't remember Aurora sporting that outfit, but apparently she did. But yeah, there's some weird long-term storytelling, like, where did this villain come from? Well, 100 years ago, or 200 years ago, or 1,000 years ago, the dawn of time, this guy was hatched out and left for dead and didn't die and all this stuff. And it makes for interesting villains that come out of kind of nowhere, because it's like, well, where do I get villains in Canada? You don't have tons to choose from, and that ancient way is one of the cool ways that they do stuff. And people with psychological stuff, mental problems, seems to work pretty good. I think is how we get villains like Vox. We finally cut this guy loose. Pestilence. He's a real craphead. But it's like, why would you, I don't know, even after all this time, I guess if you hatched, you would be a villain. It's just kind of a weird origin story for your villain. But if it works, it works. I still remember it, and it's been years since I've reread this last time. So it must have been effective, because I still recall it. That's pretty cool, if I can remember a comic from like 20 years ago that I read. Of course, it was much older than that when I first read it, but I don't like how much Namor we get in this book. I don't remember this much Namor. Never liked Namor. He's like a douchey guy with no shirt, and no pants, no shoes, wears a ponytail, hits on your wife. I don't know. Never had any love for Namor at all. Just always thought he really sucked. The use of pestilence controlling mosquitoes and flies and stuff like that. In case you don't know, a lot of places in like Alaska, the Great North, Canada, and stuff like that, you can have basically an entire year's worth of flies will all spawn in like a week or a month, because it's frozen the rest of the time. So they've they've got a lot to accomplish. So you'll have swarms of stuff. We even had it occasionally when I lived in Nebraska. You know, a cold, long winter, nothing in like one day in spring, man, you'd have mosquitoes out the wazoo. Crazy stuff. They have a lot of that up north. So having a villain utilize that ability, I thought was pretty interesting. Gods and the Great Beasts, of which Tundra was the first one we see. It's pretty cool. These are just giant spirit creatures that they fight that are, well, they're physical, but like I said, it was another place they were looking for villains. And Sasquatch, it turns out it's a real Sasquatch. It's not Walter Langowski. It's an actual Sasquatch. Got more stuff going on. Namor geeks arriving. Issue 38. 39, we get a guest appearance by the Avengers. Finally, something worthwhile happens in Canada that would cause the actual Avengers to come over. But it's not the, like, really good Avengers. It's like, you get Captain America. He's an A-lister. I think everybody else on this Avengers list is kind of the B team. Hauling Puck around. Yeah, I don't remember this costume. This costume on Puck is different, too. And definitely the costume on Aurora is different. A little bit on the odd side. Heather breaking stuff. This is like the best era of Heather Hudson. Like I said, she's never portrayed as like the big voluptuous sex symbol like so many of your Marvel heroes are. And even being a redhead, she's not a Mary Jane or a Marvel girl or anything like that. She's just a lab girl. Wears a suit, loves her country, does good on her job. So I always like that part of it. The art in this is really kind of lame. Like, look at these pages. I know we're underwater, and that's hard to make it really dynamic sometimes, but this is really, this watercolor is super blah. Mega blah. It is lightly minted green, if you can see it. Or if it's not coming through on the paper, it may look kind of just off-white. It's green. It's just all your backgrounds are this really flat, lame green color. And they didn't add anything else into the background to really highlight the depths of the ocean, which is kind of weird. All in all, not the most riveting issue ever, by any means. Issue 39, it is what it is. Issue 40, so this is Marvel 25th anniversary cover. They did a lot of these. I think almost every title, even Cloak and Dagger had a cover like this. And what I think the story was, if I remember right, they wanted to do like chrome covers or something to celebrate Marvel's 25th anniversary. They didn't have the money. They were not doing financially super great at the time. And so somebody just came up with this framed picture, and then we would just put somebody in the middle. And they did it with Spider-Man. They did it with Iron Man. They did it with like tons of books. And you know what? It actually kind of worked. Like, that's a pretty cool cover. You have everybody, you know, all your big players of the Marvel Universe represented on it. And it really popped. And then you just put like the star of it right in the center, and bam. And it was a cheap way of making a very memorable cover that spanned across all the titles without having to use like chrome or holograms or anything like that. But that's the story with these. I always thought that was really cool. Issue 40. Marina. So here you're underwater, but it looks cool. Like, it's... Okay, never mind. I spoke too soon. Now we're back to just the flat... crappy blue tone in the back. It really just gives you no pop at all. In fact, it's got the same background color as the sky does in this ad, so it's more confusing and bland. At least there's a war, at least there's some action, at least there's some sort of thing going on here, but just the way it's drawn and the way it's colored is not so fantastic. Oh, still got a bit of a lingering cough, but it's tough. She looks so nasty, and he needs to kill her, and I don't think he does. Marina's mate, good lord. At least they spiced up the background a little. Yeah, that background is starting to kill me. It's page after page. This is like the third issue now that has no background scenes to them. It's all just that flat, blush, light blue. And how frustrating. I know you're trying to tell a story in the midst of that, but it is not riveting to look at. I will give you that. There's only what's happening in front of you, and there's no background to anything. I don't know. Seems kind of lame to me. But I did mention that even though John Byrne writes super boring, uneventful plots with Alpha Flight, mostly because I don't think he much cared for Alpha Flight, he did do much better art than you will see in some of these. And some of the later stuff, like after issue 100, there's some like just bomb issues where it does not look good at all. But anyway, that's 4 issues of Alpha Flight. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a like or a thumbs up or something. And I really appreciate you guys watching. I'll catch you guys later. That's my story. Bye.